Your life isn't hard because it's complicated. It's hard because you're missing 15 ideas that most people outside Japan have never once been taught. And I don't mean 15 productivity hacks. I don't mean 15 things to add to your already full schedule. I mean 15 specific, almost laughably small shifts in how ordinary moments are handled. Shifts so quiet, you might not even notice them the first time you try one. But by the time you reach number 15, you'll feel something loosen. Something that's been unnecessarily tight for years. Stay until number 15, because I'm going to give you what Japan calls the 1-minute reset, a single 30-second practice that ties all 15 of these ideas together and turns them from a list into a life. But first, number 7 is the one I want you to pay attention to most. Because number 7 is not about adding anything to your day. It is about removing something invisible. Something you cannot see but feel constantly. Something that is draining you right now in this exact moment and has been for years. Let's begin. Idea number 1. The 2-minute rule, but the Japanese version. You've probably heard the 2-minute rule before. If something takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. Standard productivity advice, fine. But that's not how Japan applies it. Japan applies it to the space around you. If something in your immediate environment will take less than 2 minutes to fix, return, wipe, fold, or put back, it gets done the moment you notice it. Not added to a list. Not saved for the weekend. Done right then. Here is what most people do not realize is happening when they skip this. Every small thing left undone is an open loop. Psychologists call this the Zeigarnik Effect. The brain fixates on uncompleted tasks far more vividly than completed ones. A dish left in the sink is not just a dish. It is an open loop running in the background, competing for a fraction of your attention all day without your permission. In a home full of small open loops, the cumulative drain is significant, not dramatically, silently, the way a dozen open tabs slow a laptop. Apply the 2-minute rule to your space every time you notice something, and tabs close constantly. The mental quiet that accumulates is not small at all. That is idea number 1, and you can start it in the next room the moment this video ends. Idea number 2, eat earlier than you think you should. Not less, earlier. Japan's evening meal tends to happen well before most Americans sit down to dinner. And this is not cultural preference. This is the single most overlooked variable in how well you sleep, how clearly you think the following morning, and how your body manages weight without a single change to what you eat. Here is the mechanism. Digestion runs warm. Your core temperature rises while your body processes food. Sleep requires the opposite. Your core temperature must drop for your brain to enter deep restorative stages. Eat close to bedtime, and you are asking a body mid-digestion to simultaneously shift into deep restoration. It cannot do both. So it compromises. Sleep that is technically happening, but never deep enough to leave you genuinely rested. Finish your last meal at least 3 hours before bed tonight. Your sleep tomorrow will tell you everything. That is idea number 2. Now, idea number 3 is one most people have never tried intentionally. And once you try it, it will feel strange that you never did. Idea number 3, step outside before you look at your phone. Every morning before the first screen, step outside, even 5 minutes, even a doorway or back step, just outside in actual daylight, before anything else. Your brain runs on an internal clock set by one input above all others. Natural light entering your eyes first thing in the morning. Dr. Satchin Panda at the Salk Institute has spent decades on this. Morning light anchors the circadian system, which anchors cortisol regulation, sleep quality, and metabolism. A phone screen in a dark room does not do this. The sky does. 5 minutes outside before your phone. That is idea number 3. Idea number 4, drink warm water before coffee. Every morning, not instead of, before. After 7 or 8 hours of sleep without a single sip of fluid, your body wakes up in a quiet state of dehydration. Your cells are running on reserves. And the first thing most people do is pour a dehydrated, already cortisol-spiked nervous system directly into caffeine. Dr. Andrew Huberman has spoken about this repeatedly. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine, the chemical that creates sleepiness, but adenosine clears naturally within 90 minutes of waking. Drink coffee before that clearing happens, and you block receptors still full of it. The adenosine doesn't disappear, it waits. When the caffeine wears off around 2 p.m, it all arrives at once. The crash, the sugar craving, the afternoon that collapses. The Japanese alternative is almost embarrassingly simple. A glass of warm water before anything else. The warmth signals the digestive system to come online. The hydration gives the nervous system what it actually needs first. Delay coffee by 60 to 90 minutes, and it works the way it was supposed to. Clean energy, no crash. Warm water first, then coffee. That is idea number 4. Now, idea number 5 is going to feel uncomfortable to hear because it asks you to question something you have been told your whole life is virtuous. Idea number 5, rest deliberately in the middle of the day, 10 to 20 minutes, eyes closed, no screens, somewhere between noon and early afternoon, a complete stop. The human body runs on ultradian rhythms, biological cycles of 90 to 120 minutes that govern alertness and focus throughout the day. At the end of each cycle, the brain needs a brief recovery before it can rise again. Push through with caffeine, and the cost arrives as a hard afternoon crash. Simple decisions feel heavy, creativity disappears, patience runs out. A 2021 University College London study found that 10 to 20 minutes of non-sleep rest with eyes closed produces measurable cognitive recovery equivalent to a significant portion of a full night's sleep. Your biology has always been asking for this. This idea simply gives it what it needs. That is idea number 5. Now, idea number 6. And slow down here, because this one is not what it sounds like. Idea number 6. Pause before you eat. Every time, not to pray, not as a formal ritual, just to stop for 30 seconds before the first bite, to look at what is in front of you, to register consciously that you are about to eat. In Japan, this is the phrase itadakimasu, spoken before every meal, usually translated as I humbly receive. But the function it serves is not religious. It is neurological. It is a boundary between activity and consumption, a moment in which the nervous system shifts from doing to receiving. Research is consistent. People who pause before eating consistently eat less, feel fuller sooner, and report greater satisfaction from calorically identical meals. But the deeper effect goes beyond food. The pause before eating is practice for the pause before everything. It trains the nervous system in the art of arriving, of being present at the beginning of an experience rather than already halfway through the next one. Pause before you eat. Every single time. That is idea number 6. Now, idea number 7, the one I told you to wait for. Idea number 7. Clear the spaces around water in your home, your sink, your bathroom counter, the area around your kitchen faucet. Stop and think about what those spaces look like right now. In Japan, there is a concept called mizumawari, the spaces around water. Water areas are treated as a direct reflection of the mind. Standing water, damp surfaces, cluttered counters around a faucet, believed to breed stagnant energy, not just in the room, in the person living inside it. The science reaches the same conclusion differently. Research from the Princeton Neuroscience Institute shows that visual disorder competes for the brain's attention continuously, below conscious awareness. Dozens of times a day, your brain registers each damp spot, each cluttered counter, tiny cortisol hits that add up quietly all day. The fix is 4 seconds, a cloth near every faucet. Wipe the sink after every use. Keep water areas clear and dry. The subconscious tab running all day closes. The quiet that returns is not a small thing. Clear the spaces around water in your home tonight. That is idea number 7. Now, idea number 8 is invisible. You cannot see it. You cannot touch it. But it is affecting your mood, your focus, and your health right now. And most people have no idea it is even happening. Idea number 8. Ventilate your home deliberately. Open a window, at least one for at least 10 minutes, every single morning. A sealed modern home accumulates carbon dioxide, moisture, and airborne pollutants faster than most people realize. You cannot see it. You cannot always smell it. But researchers have consistently linked elevated indoor CO2 with reduced concentration, increased fatigue, and disrupted sleep. Effects that most people attribute to stress or poor diet without ever considering that the air they are breathing all day might be the variable. Japan decided this was important enough to build into law. Continuous mechanical ventilation is required in every new Japanese home. Not a trend, a legal baseline. Because Japan understood that the air inside a sealed home should not depend on whether someone remembered to open a window. Open a window for 10 minutes every morning. Let what accumulated overnight leave. One of the lowest effort, highest impact things available to you today. That is idea number 8. Idea number 9. Go outside once a day with no purpose, not for exercise, not for errands, not with earbuds in, just outside for 15 minutes without agenda. In Japan, this is called Shinrin-yoku, forest bathing. Research is consistent. Time in natural environments measurably reduces cortisol, lowers blood pressure, and produces a quality of mental rest that indoor environments cannot replicate. You do not need a forest. You need outside. The shift in light, the absence of a ceiling, the way sound moves without walls. These are read by the nervous system as categorically different from the indoors, and they produce a recovery the indoors simply cannot offer. Once a day, 15 minutes, no destination, that is idea number 9. Now, idea number 10 is about something happening in your bedroom right now that is ruining your rest, and it has nothing to do with your mattress. Idea number 10. Remove everything work-related from your bedroom. The laptop on the nightstand, the work notebook by your pillow, the phone charging 12 inches from your face, all of it out. When you sleep next to your work, your brain links the space of rest with the stress of output. The last thing your eyes see before closing is your to-do list, your unfinished business. In Japan, the sleeping space is strictly for rejuvenation, nothing else. That separation is what lets the mind fully switch off. Every object in your bedroom that contradicts rest is costing you the depth of your sleep. Move the work out tonight. That is idea number 10. Idea number 11, and this one might sting a little. Dress the person you are today. Go to your closet right now in your mind. How many items in there do not fit? Not because you have changed sizes, but because they belong to a version of you that no longer exists. The clothes from a different job, a different decade, a different version of who you thought you were going to be. In Japan, there is a practice called danshari, letting go, honoring who you are today. Clothes that do not fit your current life are not neutral objects. Every morning when you open that closet, they speak. They say, you are not enough as you are right now. That is not motivation. That is a wound you reopen before you have even put your shoes on. Dress who you actually are, in the life you are actually living, with respect. Release the rest. That is idea number 11. Now, idea number 12 is something almost everyone does all day without realizing it is steadily draining them. Idea number 12. Give every object one home and always return it there. In Japan, every single item has one specific place, not a general area, one specific spot. The same drawer, the same shelf, the same hook, every time without exception. When everything has one home, putting it away requires zero decisions. No pause, no where does this go? No temporary spot becoming a permanent pile. Decision fatigue research shows tiny choices drain the same cognitive resource you need for everything else. Remove dozens of them daily, and the mental resource that returns is not small. One home, always returned. That is idea number 12. Idea number 13. Write 3 sentences before you sleep. Not a journal, not a diary, not a gratitude list that takes 20 minutes and feels like homework. 3 sentences. One moment from today you don't want to forget. One thing that worked. One thing you're willing to look forward to tomorrow. Dr. Martin Seligman at the University of Pennsylvania found that people who identified small positive events from their day for as few as 2 weeks showed significant increases in well-being that persisted for months after they stopped. Not because their lives changed, because their attention changed. And attention, directed consistently, reshapes what the brain registers as the texture of your life. 3 sentences, 2 minutes, every night. That is idea number 13. Idea number 14 is one of the most counterintuitive things on this list because it asks you to do less in order to feel more. Idea number 14. Own fewer things in every category. Not a radical minimalist overhaul, just fewer. In your kitchen, fewer gadgets, fewer mismatched containers, fewer unused appliances on the counter. In your bathroom, fewer products, fewer half-used bottles. In your living room, fewer decorative items that collect dust without adding anything to the room. Every object you own is something you store, move, clean around, and make decisions about. The fewer objects, the less time and attention they consume. What returns, for focus, for rest, for the things that actually matter, is not nothing. Pick one drawer, one shelf, one category. Ask which items are earning their place. The ones that are not. Let them go this week. That is idea number 14. And now, number 15. The one I promised would tie everything together. Idea number 15, the 1-minute reset. Every evening, before dinner or screens, spend 60 seconds returning the 3 most visible spaces in your home to their starting state. Counter wiped, cushion straight, bag by the door, 60 seconds. Here is what those 60 seconds are doing. A home that resets every day never accumulates the disorder that requires an entire weekend to undo. The dread around an overwhelming home does not come from any single mess. It comes from accumulation. The slow layering of small things left undone, day after day, until the whole space starts to feel like a problem rather than a place to rest. The 1-minute reset closes that loop every single evening before it can open. No Saturday disappearing into catching up. No Sunday morning you dread. No walking into your home and feeling your chest tighten 60 seconds every evening before anything else. That is idea number 15. Here is everything in one breath. 2-minute rule for your space. Eat earlier. Step outside before your phone. Warm water before coffee. Rest 10 minutes midday. Pause before you eat. Clear the spaces around water. Open a window every morning. Go outside once a day with no purpose. Remove work from your bedroom. Dress who you are today. Give every object one home. Write 3 sentences before you sleep. Own fewer things. And 60 seconds every evening to reset what you can see. 15 ideas, none of them cost money. Every single one can begin today, in the next hour, in the life you already have. Your life does not need to be rebuilt. It needs 15 small corrections most of the world has never been given. Now, I want to hear from you. Right now, before you close this, which of these 15 is the one your life is most missing? Which one have you known for years you should be doing, but never quite started? Tell me the number 1 through 15 in the comments, because naming the one thing is the first step toward changing it. And someone reading your comment might see themselves in it and finally feel ready to name theirs. If this opened your eyes even a little, share it with one person whose life you have been inside and quietly thought, they deserve better than this. I will see you in the next one.